So I started playtesting with everything before I wanted to do any heavy editing on the rest of the game, and I noticed a few issues. So the first thing I noticed is that when I play a song, I can't pick a new song to play, like it doesn't turn off the old song. And I looked for anything that would turn off the previous song, and I couldn't find anything that worked, which means if I want to switch tracks, it just plays both of them at the same time. Second, I noticed when I press play to preview specific scenes, it brings me to this black screen. So anytime I try to load a scene, it's just completely black. I have to go to the pause menu and hit return, and then the scene will play. And this happens when you try to start a new game, when you go from scene to scene, when you try to load a save file. Anytime the scene tries to play, you have to go into the pause menu and hit return before it will play. It doesn't automatically. If you try to cancel out of the save load menu after you asked it to load and it freezes, the cancel button just straight up disappears and then the game freezes. I also noticed when you load a save, it will start playing both versions of the scene. So I muted all of my audio here, but you can see these sprites and aligning dialog boxes pop up at the same time. So if I were to put in voice lines, you'd have overlapping audio as well, and the music loops too. So I've got like this kind of round robin of, and if I load and load and load, then it just builds on top of each other. So I have like 4 versions of the song playing at the same time. Then with the stat menu, I noticed that the percentage bar goes for the entirety of the bar and not each individual brick. So when Noggin finishes or is partway through one brick, the percentage should show how much you have to finish that brick, that little color brick, and then each brick is supposed to show a level of mastery. So that percentage should go, where we're at, it should say 0% because he's mastered 2 levels and he's 0% on the 3rd level. And then for the inventory screen, we've got our little Polaroids, but the Polaroids shouldn't be showing up at all because all of the booleans say that it's true. So I had to kind of backwards program it so that if it's false, then it's in your inventory, but I noticed either when I click it on or when I click it off, the pictures still show up in your inventory. So I don't know how that, hopefully that's an easy fix. And then for the memories, when we click on the picture, it shows a full screen of the thumbnail. It should be the CG that went with that scene. I know I haven't programmed those as the Boolean items yet, but if there's a way we can throw in like a line of script where it can connect to that original image when we click and blow it up instead of the thumbnail, that would be fantastic. Other than that, the save and load system works really well. Our stats carry over perfectly from scene to scene and transition to transition. And I put all of those little menu items for the first scene in an empty object, and I've been able to duplicate it and move it into the multiple different scenes. And so far, I haven't had any issues with that pause menu being duplicated in other scenes.